Hello, Aries soul. You didn't find this message by chance. You were guided here by a quiet voice within, one you've often silenced in the name of strength, duty, and keeping it all together. But that voice never left you. It has been gently pulling you toward what your heart needs most. If you're here now, it's because your soul asked for this moment. You are more ready than you think to hear the truth you've been suspecting all along. That something within you is ready to be released, to breathe, to heal. Before we go any further, I invite you to write this sacred affirmation in the comments as a spiritual seal of this message. God leads me, protects me, and shows me the way with this strength. This is how we anchor the energy of this divine reading. Aries, you've always been a warrior, fiercely loyal, protective of those you love. You don't just defend them, you become the shield. You've offered your time like a sacrifice, your silence like a peace treaty, your heart like a battlefield, wounded yet never retreating. But now something is shifting. And it's time the universe returned what you've given without asking. Because what you've been going through lately has not been easy. You've made excuses for others. You've told yourself with enough love, everything will find its way. But there's a part of you that can no longer pretend, a part that can't unsee the truth. And it hurts. Because this isn't just the end of a relationship, it's the end of a chapter. A way of loving that, deep down, has cost you more than it has nourished you. You've held on tight, you gave your all. Not just kindness or patience, but your entire being, as only someone like you could. You didn't hold back, but now, all that giving has left your soul tired. You're standing in front of memories that ache, questions with no answers, moments that replay in your chest when no one else is around. And I know it's hard to accept that something you nurtured with such care simply stopped growing. But let me say this clearly, Aries, this is not failure. This is freedom. God, through Archangel Michael, is clearing your path. Not to punish you, but to protect you. He is removing what no longer honors your light, even if you once believed you couldn't live without it. Letting go isn't easy for someone like you. Someone so loyal, so brave, so emotionally invested. But holding on to what hurts is not love, it's habit, it's fear. And my dear Aries, you weren't born to live in fear. You were born to lead with fire, to love with courage, and to heal by truth. You gave second chances, and third, and fourth. You tried to fix it with tenderness. You thought love alone could mend it. But not everyone wants to heal with you. Not everyone wants to grow, and not everyone knows how to love like you do. That doesn't mean you failed. It means your love was so pure that the other soul didn't know how to receive it. And as painful as it is, that's not your burden to carry. You can't keep holding someone else's heart while your own is slowly breaking. What's happening now is an act of divine love. Michael is stepping in with his sword, not to cut you down, but to sever the energetic cords that no longer serve your destiny. He's not punishing you, he's rescuing you. He's reminding you that your worth doesn't depend on who stays, it depends on who you are. And Aries, you are a force of light, a deep old soul with the power to love beyond fear. But even that strength deserves rest. Even you deserve to be received, to be met, to be seen. So breathe, let the battle end, not because you lost, but because your victory is in the freedom to walk away from what never saw your value. This is not about suddenly forgetting, not about erasing memories. It's about honoring what you've lived through without being chained to it. It's about releasing without resentment, about realizing that not every ending means there was no love. Sometimes it means you simply outgrew the version of yourself that accepted being invisible while the other person stood in the light. And now, Aries, you're evolving. You're stepping beyond a threshold. You're reclaiming the voice that you've silenced far too often just to keep the peace. But not anymore. Not today. Today you choose you, and no, that's not selfish. That's healing. That's dignity. That's real love. Yes, it will hurt, because nothing stings quite like loving someone when your heart knows it can't keep going. But that pain won't last forever. The space you feel now will soon be filled with the light of your own becoming. Because a broken heart is also an open heart, open to something new, something that won't need your permission to stay. Someone who won't walk away when things get hard. This is your beginning, Aries. A sacred return to yourself, a space where you no longer apologize for your emotions, where your intensity isn't too much, where your sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a gift. From this moment on, every step you take is a return to the parts of you forgot while giving too much, to the parts that deserve to give without fear of not receiving. And what comes next won't look like what you left behind. And that's the best part. Because what's coming won't make you doubt your worth. It won't ask you to shrink. It won't leave you waiting for answers that never come. You are no longer waiting. You were created for things that are sure, for steady hands, for souls who can meet your fire without fear. Even if today you feel lost, this, right now, is the greatest act of love you've ever given yourself. The moment you decide not to remain where you're not valued. I know there's a quiet war inside you. You lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, trying to understand what went wrong. When exactly did the connection become a one-way street? You have nothing to be ashamed of. You loved from the purest place in your soul, and that will never be a mistake. But what once felt like home now feels like a cage. What once made you smile now fills you with doubt. It's not that you've stopped loving them, it's that you've finally started loving yourself, and that changes everything. You were the one who held on, who tried to keep the flame alive, who gave warmth even when it wasn't returned, who stayed quiet not to hurt anyone. And in that silence, you lost your voice. Not because you were forced to, but because you cared too much. You made yourself smaller, but not anymore. This is the moment your soul begins to recover. Now is the time to realize the endless love you gave cost you your peace, and your peace is too high a price to pay. Archangel Michael has seen how long you've resisted. He's watched you carry what was never yours alone, and now he's stepping in, not to destroy anything, but to protect you. Every part of you once adapted to a story that no longer serves you. That's why things are shifting now. That's why doors are closing, not to punish you, but to clear the way. Even so, there will be moments you look back. Nostalgia will dress those memories in soft light and whisper, maybe it could have been different. But don't confuse attachment with love. Don't offer another chance to someone who never learned how to stay. Aries, you gave more than enough. You tried, you waited, you forgave. Now it's time to finally understand yourself. What's being taken away isn't what you need. It's what no longer fits. It's what life gently removes to make space for something far more true. You may not fully see it yet, but soon you'll understand. This goodbye was sacred. It was not meant to wound you. It was meant to free you. Some endings don't come with fireworks. They come quietly, leaving deep cracks behind. And yet you are learning to close those chapters with dignity. You are realizing that you don't need someone else to return in order to heal. The wound no longer belongs to them, it belongs to you now, and you're the one tending to it with honor. You're learning to ask, what is this teaching me? Not, why did this happen to me? That shift changes everything. You're not trapped in pain. You are walking through it, you're seeing it, you're making it part of your path, and you're moving forward. Don't blame yourself for loving. Don't regret hoping. And never, ever feel foolish for believing in love from the deepest part of your soul. Very few people know how to do that. But now, Aries, it's time to redirect that love, not away from love itself, but toward you. Because something new is coming, someone new. But they won't arrive if your heart is still occupied by a story that has stopped breathing. You need space, a cleared out place in your chest where something different can settle in. Something that doesn't ask you to explain yourself. Something that just embraces you. Not everything will come all at once. There will be mornings you won't want to get up, nights when memories crawl back and uninvited. But they will fade, and the days will come. The ones where your smile is no longer tied to what you lost, but to what you're building. You are learning to care for yourself the way you used to care for others. You are learning to say no without guilt. You are learning to put your emotions back in the center. And while it might feel strange at first, your soul will exhale. It will feel safe. It will feel seen. At last, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to stay where your absence goes unnoticed. True love will find you, not because you begged for it, not because you broke yourself to be worthy of it, but because it recognizes your light and chooses to stay. It won't ask you to hide. It won't run when things get hard. It won't need to be convinced of your value. This, Aries, This is the beginning of your real healing. It won't be linear. There will be turns, there will be quiet heartbreaks. But now you know what you didn't know before. You can walk alone if you must. You can choose yourself. You can begin again without fear. And in this beginning, everything that once felt essential is transformed. The memories soften, the unsaid words go quiet, the broken promises lose their power, because you're no longer waiting for someone to keep them. You're not waiting for them to come back. You're moving forward. Archangel Michael is still with you, not to fight your battles, but to remind you, you are never alone. You are carried by a force greater than what you've lost. Every tear has been witnessed, and now the heavens are aligning to bring you the peace you were always worthy of. It's not time to look back. It's time to build with what you've learned. Let go, not with anger, not with bitterness. Let go with gratitude, with love. Because without that chapter, you would have never discovered your worth. And now that you know it, no one can ever take it from you again. You've arrived at a sacred threshold, where one story ends and another begins. No slamming doors, no loud goodbyes, just a strange and quiet peace. The kind that comes when a tired heart finally lets go. And from the deepest part of your soul, Aries, you understand this now. Not everything you love is meant to stay. And sometimes the purest form of love is knowing when to walk away. That feeling you have right now, that strange blend of emptiness and relief, I want you to know, it means you're already healing. You may not realize it yet, but you're doing it. You're learning how to say goodbye without hate. You're letting go without bitterness. You're saying enough with a trembling voice, yes, but one filled with courage. And Aries, this is evolution. Not everyone will understand your process. Some will say you're exaggerating. Others will say you're too sensitive. But you no longer need them to understand. Because now, you understand yourself. You're finally listening to your own heart. You're giving yourself space. The kind of space you used to give everyone else. Yes, the pain still lingers, but it's no longer an executioner. It has become a teacher. It's showing you which doors must never open again, which silences should never be excused again, and which signs must never be ignored again. Most importantly, it's teaching you that you can begin again without betraying yourself. Maybe you've asked, what was the point of all this? So much love, so much devotion, only to leave empty-handed? But no, Aries, your hands are not empty. They are full. Of you, of the person you are becoming, wiser, stronger, truer. The universe hasn't taken anything from you. It's simply clearing away what no longer has roots, what can no longer grow, even if you keep watering it. Sometimes we cling to dying vines, believing it's just a matter of time before they come back to life. But the soul knows. The soul feels when something no longer vibrates with its evolution. And even if the mind insists, the spirit always wins. You gave that person something massive. You were home, you were safety, you were love. But that doesn't mean you're required to stay where your love is not met with presence. You can't keep waiting for someone to awaken if you've already stepped into another level of awareness. And no, you're not wrong for still feeling. You're not weak for remembering with tenderness. What you lived was real. What you felt was deep. That's why letting go is so hard. But you have to do it. Not out of punishment, not from pride, but out of love. Out of respect for all that you gave. Out of loyalty to the new version of you that no longer fits the old one. Aries, life has a very different kind of love waiting for you. A love that doesn't hurt. A love that doesn't confuse. A love that doesn't require you to explain away your pain. But love needs space. And that space only exists once you release what's draining your energy. Today, new people will arrive. New experiences, new ways of feeling. But the most miraculous arrival will be the reunion with yourself. You will rediscover the talents you forgot. You will reconnect with passions you set aside for others. You will remember what makes you happy outside of any relationship. And when you least expect it, in the middle of a quiet afternoon or during a casual conversation, you'll feel something shift. A smile will feel real again. Your chest will feel light. Your breath will deepen, without tension. That will be the sign. You did it. You closed the wound. You returned to yourself. You don't need to race to get there. You don't have to heal in a week. Give yourself time. Cry if you must. Write, speak, walk. But don't stop. Every small step is carrying you closer to emotional freedom. And when you look back, because you will, you won't look back in resentment. You'll look back with gratitude for everything you've learned, for everything you've given, for choosing yourself, especially when it was hardest to do so, and above all, for refusing to stay in a place where your soul couldn't grow anymore. Archangel Michael is still beside you, not with a sword of judgment, but with a light of protection. A guide, never forceful, only faithful. He heard your silent prayers. He saw you searching for answers in places where only silence stared back. And now, he's clearing the path ahead of you. You, who remembers everything you once loved with your entire being. You too deserve to be loved like that, fully, tenderly, without fear, without conditions. Don't accept less. Don't go back. Don't return just because you're afraid of loneliness. The loneliness you feel now is not a sentence, it's a preparation. This is your rebirth, Aries. This is your blooming season after having been torn wide open. Like all things reborn from truth, you will emerge with stronger roots, deeper foundations, unshakable resolve. You will no longer give up your seat at the table. You will no longer silence your needs. You will no longer beg for scraps of love. Because the self-love you are nurturing today, that will be the foundation of everything good that is to come. And what's coming will make you see it was all worth it. There will be someone, maybe late, maybe soon, who will look at you the way you have always looked at others, with admiration, with gentleness, with reverence. But before that, you must stay with yourself. Heal yourself, sustain yourself, become your own shelter. Because once you learn to be your own home, nothing outside of you can ever collapse your world again. So today, Aries, I wrap you in these words, a quiet blessing for your new cycle. I thank you for not giving up, for staying, for still choosing light even when it hurt. Now go forward and open your heart to this message. If these words have spoken for you, if they echoed what you couldn't say during the silent waiting, then leave a sign below. Not for me, but for you. Like lighting an invisible candle and whispering to the universe, I'm ready. I understand. I choose myself.